All right, man, another day, another set of free picks. I'm going to jump into it really quick, but before I do that, I wanted to recap our NBA picks from last night. We went 2 for 3. We got Zach LaVine under right. We got Mark Williams over right. And then, of course, we missed on Giannis. We had his less points. He ended up going over. The Bucks went crazy. They blew out the Raptors. But sometimes you miss. We'll take 2 out of 3 every single time. And today, I have 4 really good NFL picks that I'm super confident in. So without further ado, if you like content like this and you want more of it, hit that like button. Let's try to get to 50 likes on this video. And then also, if you want to get these videos every single day going forward, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. So now that we got that out the way, let's go ahead and jump into these free picks. Let's go over to Prizepicks. And the first pick that I have for you is that guy, A.J. Brown, to go over his receptions number at just 5. I know right here it looks like he hasn't been hitting it. He's only hit it twice out of his last 5 games. But when you look at all the games he's played in this season, he's at least had 5 receptions in 10 of them. So that's why I'm so confident in this pick. He's coming off a game where he was reading a book on the sideline, mad about not getting the ball. And the Eagles know if this guy isn't involved in their game plan going forward, they're not going to be able to win the Super Bowl. So I'm almost positive they're going to come out, give this guy some targets. And if you just give him 6, 7 targets, he's going to find a way to come down with at least 5 of them, especially when you consider most of the targets are probably going to be slants and stops because of the weather. I'm not exactly sure if he's going to go crazy and have 100 yards receiving, but I do think he'll have 50 or 60 receiving at least on 5 receptions plus, and obviously if that happens, he'll hit his over. Now, the other reason that I like this a lot is because they're playing the Rams, and number 1, the Rams are a bottom 11 pass defense in the entire NFL, and number 2, when you look back at what AJ did when he played against them earlier on in the season, he absolutely went crazy for over 100 receiving yards, so I have no reason to believe that he's not going to come out and do that again because I really don't like the Rams secondary because they don't have anybody to guard a guy like this. So this is my first pick. I think this line is a little bit too low. I probably wouldn't take it at 6.5, but if it was at 5.5, I'd probably take it there. I really do think he's going to get 6+ receptions in this game. And if that happens, obviously this will turn out to be a really good first pick. Now for the second pick, we're going to go with Matthew Stafford. Hold on, let me type it in. Matthew Stafford under his 32.5 attempts. As you can see right here, Matthew Stafford hasn't gone over this line in 5 games in a row. I'm not exactly sure why they think he's going to throw it over 32 times this game, but I just don't see a way that that happens considering the Eagles have the number 1 pass defense in the entire NFL. The weather isn't going to be great, and I don't think this game is going to be a blowout. I do think the Eagles will end up winning. They're 6.5 point favorites, but if that spread is correct and this game is just a 3 to 7 point game, the Rams aren't going to have a reason to throw the ball a ton. I mean, he's coming off a great game against the Vikings. He didn't go over that mark, didn't even get close to it. And even when you look back to when he played Buffalo where the Rams scored over 40 points, he still didn't go over this mark. So this line really just doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm going to take this under all day long. And that gives us 2 picks right here for the first game of Sunday. And I like both of them a lot. Now, moving on to the next game, I also have 2 picks for that game. And the first pick that I'm going to have there is Lamar Jackson over his rushing yards number at 57.5. Now, what I will say is yesterday, this line was at 54.5, and that's when I looked at it and liked it a lot. They bumped it up a lot, probably because a lot of people are taking the over, but this over still makes a ton of sense to me. As you can see, he's hit this over in 4 of his last 5 games. He's coming off a game where he rushed for 81 yards, and that's simply because he runs the ball more in the playoffs, and that is shown throughout the entirety of his career. Every time he gets in the playoffs, he gets a little bit less scared to tuck the ball and go get it himself, because in this Steelers game, the game wasn't even close. He didn't really have a need to run it, and I think this Bills game is going to be closer, and the weather is going to be worse, which should cause him to run the ball even more. When he played the Bills earlier on in the season, he rushed for 54 yards on just 6 carries, and that was in a blowout as well, so I think if this game can just stay close, he should rush for over 60 yards pretty easily, especially since the Ravens are probably going to lean on the run a little bit more, considering Zay Flowers doesn't look like he's going to play. I think we're going to get a heavy dosage of QB power and zone read from Lamar and Derrick Henry, and as long as Lamar gets 4 or 5 designed runs and he scrambles a little bit, he's going to hit this line with ease. So that's my third pick. It's my first pick for the second game of the day, but before we get into my last and favorite pick of the day, I want to let you know that if you go use my code on Dabble or Sleeper, you're going to see them on the top left and the top right of the screen. I'm going to give you free VIP for a month. Just let me know that you use my code down in the comments below. I'll reach out to you. And on top of that, if you go use my code on Dabble, they're going to give you a free $25. And as you can see right here, no deposit is necessary. I've never seen an app do a deal like this. It's one of the best deals out there. And then to go along with that, if you go use my code on Sleeper, if you go and play just $5, so deposit the minimum amount with my code and play just $5, you're going to get $55 back in bonus bets, which really is pretty crazy. These are two of the best promos out right now. I would go take advantage of them. I mean, it's literally free money that you can use on whatever you want. And to just add a cherry on top, if you use my code, I'll give you free VIP for a month as well, where we've actually been doing really, really well. So go do that. I'll really appreciate it. Take advantage of the free VIP and these free promos. But now, let's get into the fourth pick. And the fourth pick is that guy, Josh Allen, to go over his passing yards at just 240. As you can see right here, he's hit this line 3 times in his last 5 games, which is a pretty good mark to be at. He's averaging well over that mark in his last 5 as well at 262. And I think it's pretty clear when you go look at his games from the season. Every time he's in a big game or a close game, he finds a way to play really good football. And that's shown by the fact that he threw for 340 against the Rams and 360 against Detroit. And then in the first playoff game against a really good Denver defense, he also hit his over at 272. So while I know the Ravens defense is pretty good, they're honestly not that good against the pass. They're actually a bottom 2 team in the entire NFL in passing yards allowed per game, and that's another reason why I like this line so much. The Ravens are really bad against the pass, but they're really good against the run, so I don't think James Cook is going to have a ton of success. So if they slow James Cook down, it's going to force the Bills to throw the ball more, and if Josh Allen is either playing from behind or he has to come up clutch in some type of key situation, he's going to put it all on his back and make something crazy happen, and that's where I think these 240 yards are going to come from. Now, if I were you, I'd pair these picks 2 and 2, whichever way you want, or go and add something that you like with it. It's totally up to you, but as you can see right here, 20 pays 100 on a flex play, or 20 will play 200 on a power play. You can do it either way you want. If you're going to do 4 altogether, I would do a flex play to be a little bit more safe, and if you're going to do a power play, I'd split it up and just do 3 of them, or I would do 2 and 2, because if you do 2 and 2 and you hit just one, you still profit, but obviously if you hit both, you profit a lot. But it's up to you how you use these plays. I'm super confident in all of them. I really do think they're all going to hit, but isn't that what everybody says before a game starts? I don't know. I'm really confident in them. Go put these in, and until next time, let's go print some money.